Must have worked out this morning, Teo. Abs of steel. All right. Good football team coming in here. All three phases, they play extremely hard. They're very well coached, and they got really good players. So big time test coming to our building this Sunday. So we're on it right now, rolling. What do you guys got?
Is Hutchinson a guy that you have to give special attention to, or did you look at more?
Yeah, he's a premier player in the league.
Seems like a few times a game, Matt Wilson pops up in the backfield on a run play, kind of out of nowhere, and makes a tackle for a loss. What enables him to do that so well?
I wouldn't say out of nowhere. He does what he's coached to do, and then he has a skill set to trigger. He's got a quick trigger, I think. And he's very instinctive. He's very smart and knows when he can pick and choose his spots to do that. So he's played well through 2 weeks.
What's your favorite trait of Buddha's game?
His IQ.
What about that stands out?
It never sped up, sees it before it happens.
What's the approach to keeping guys from veering with folks like us, right? A couple weeks
They
ago.
don't listen to you guys. I mean, truthfully, they don't listen to you. I don't either. No, I would say I actually do believe that. Now I know they're human and they hear things and they might read things and their buddies send them texts about, hey, this is what this guy said about you. He's talking shit about you, but they ignore that. But they keep receipts. I know that. I think that we have really mature and serious people in our locker room. And like I said on Monday, it's easy to turn the page when they turn on the tape of Detroit. So they know this week it's a week-to-week league. We got a really good opponent coming in here, and they know what it takes to prepare to give themselves a chance to win. So that's what our focus is on.
Seeing the tape, what is it that makes Hutchinson so good overall?
Well, he's in a really good scheme, and they give him some freedom, and he's got a skill set. Wherever he got drafted, you can tell why he got drafted that high.
Back to Matt for a sec. He's a guy who previous stops hasn't always played a ton of snaps. What did you guys see that made you confident that he could play an increased role effectively?
Kind of his brain first, the character that he had, because we had some guys with him at his first stop. Loves ball, teammate first, obviously well-trained coming from where he came from, where he played his college ball. In a system, his last stop, we saw how we thought we could deploy him to help our defense and thought his skill set was unique to do that. There's not many of those guys out there, and glad we got him. That's kind of what we saw. So kind of a lot, Teo. You know what I mean? That's a really good question, but a lot.
So does the last 48 hours resemble last week's 48 hours after?
1,000% doesn't change.
What can you take away from what the Lions have done as a team, as an organization the last couple of years to kind of get to where they are? You guys can kind of implement here, anything?
No, not at all, Josh. What I take away is they're a really good football team, went to the Final Four last year. That doesn't matter. What they've put on tape in the first 2 games is they're a really good football team. So we got to be on it.
Does it help staying at home this week versus having to?
No, we'll be prepared for wherever we play.
When you watch that Lions offense on film, you mentioned the film, where or how do they test the defense the most?
They do a lot. I got a very high opinion of Ben Johnson. They don't give you tendencies. They don't give you what you think's coming is coming. They do a lot really well. So there's a blend of doing a lot and just kind of dabbling in things. You can tell they're extremely coordinated. They're on the details, and they have a lot of different things that they give you. So they make you play straight up, and that can be a hard way to go versus a good offense because they got really good players as well. So we're going to have to be on it.
Who will be in the 40 today at practice?
You'll see.
What makes Buddha so good at tackling?
Marcus Bailey. I'm sorry? Marcus Bailey. Why did you give me a bad look? I mean, you've been out there. You would have saw. Marcus Bailey. I got you. He had a great week last week.
What makes Buddha so good at tackling in the open field? He flashed a lot in the game last week.
I would say his skill set and honestly his fundamentals. He's got really, really good fundamentals. Really good.
We talk so much about the NFL is a week-to-week league, but is there any extra juice knowing that you have a really good football team coming? You can kind of measure yourself.
Donnie, I think that no, I mean, I know what you're getting at. It's round 3 for us, and our job is to put all our energy and focus into learning the game plan, understanding the winning edge, knowing our opponent, knowing the details of what we're going to do, and maximizing every second counts, like maximizing our time from Monday at 3 o'clock till where we're doing right now till kickoff at 1, whatever it is, 1:25, a little backed up. But that's kind of how we operate. And again, that's a testament to the maturity in the locker room. Because, it's one thing for the coaches to preach that, but it's another thing where, you check in with some leaders on the team. What's our tone on a Monday? You know what I mean? Business-like, serious. Like, okay, let's learn from, whatever happened last week, but let's get on to the next opponent, just like we always do, kind of to your point, Greg. So we are process-driven. Like, that's not just lip service to you guys. That's how I want us to be, because I think that is the best way to get better as the season goes. So we preach it, we execute it, and then and myself too, like you can feel some type of way about who's coming in here, week 3 at home, this is a big game. They're all big, what I mean? They know it's a really good opponent coming in here for round 3.
Understanding that obviously you want your offense to execute the right way every play if they can. Can an offense in this league be successful if they do not hit on some off-schedule plays once in a while?
Yeah. Drew's one of his biggest mentors, Norv Turner, would say, and I kind of learned this when I was a DB guy talking to him, it's hard to score points without explosives. It's hard for an offense to sustain going on the field, staying on schedule, converting third downs versus today's day and age. And that was way back in the, 2014, he told me that, but with saying that, yeah, you can, execution has to be at a premium, but you see the value. That's why we talk so much about the double positive, the ball and explosive plays. It's just, it sets you up for a better chance, I think, to score points.
How would you assess the play of your corners so far?
Really good. Really good. Yeah, I think we're playing our leverages right. Our techniques are right. We haven't busted a coverage through 2 games. And we play some different things. We put a lot on those guys. The days of, your corners don't have to be smart. Our corners are extremely intelligent. They do have to be smart. And I like where they're at, technique, at the point of attack. All of them are tackling very well. I like where they're at as a group. Smitty's done a really good job with those guys.
The run defense, you guys are averaging a yard less allowed per carry than last year so far. What is making that
2
possible?
games. I'm not really concerned about stats right now. We got to keep doing a good job in the run game, though. I know that.
Do you feel like you've been doing a good job on
I
that?
do.
When you look at the tape, what do you attribute the success of Cup and Godwin out of the slot?
Of say it again?
When you look at the tape, what do you attribute the success of guys like Cup and Godwin against the Lions?
Yeah, 2 really good players. You know what I mean? And I thought both quarterbacks played well too in those 2 games. So they have a good back end. Deshae Townsend is a really good football coach. Their DB coach, pass game coordinator, and they got good players. So we're going to have to win some one-on-ones if we want to make some plays, which I feel really good about.
What kind of challenge does Jared Goff present this week?
Plays extremely fast, very accurate, and can throw it all over the yard. Big arm.
Are he and Stafford similar in ways at all in terms of how you prepare for them?
How we would prepare for them. There's differences.
Coach, thanks.
Okay. Thanks, guys.